Hi, welcome to ADHD TV with me, Jo Richards. I'm doing a short series of videos about Thomas E. Brown's model of executive functions. And there are 6. I have done a previous video just doing a summary of what those 6 are. And now I'm going through and breaking down those 6. So I've already done a video on activation, a previous video, and this one is to do with focus. And so there are several things that can hinder our focus, and some of them aren't so dissimilar to the things that hinder our activation as well. So I will try and change it up a little bit just to add in some more information, but it's not too dissimilar. So the first one is distractions. So these can be both internally and externally. So internally, it can be your thoughts, it could be your worries, it could be your daydreams. And then externally, obviously you've got noise, interruptions, and visual stimuli. And then we're going on to stress and anxiety. So our emotional state can really dominate what cognitive resources that we have, and it can make it really challenging for us to stay focused on a specific task. The next one is multitasking. So, gosh, haven't we heard over the years different advice and information about multitasking? But for us, we can find that really, really difficult. And I absolutely advocate and love doing batch tasks. Like when I do videos, I like to get it into flow, and I will record 8 videos back to back, ready to be distributed out to everybody, just because I'm in that zone and I don't have to try and transition from one task to another. What I don't want is cognitive overload, because that does reduce my efficiency. The next one is fatigue. So obviously this could be physical and it could be mental fatigue, and it really does impair our concentration. It could be lack of sleep, it could be overexertion. Once we do get that, if you are having the H in hyperactivity with ADHD, and suddenly you've got that spurt of energy, you tend to do too many things instead of just getting what needs to be done. Because you worry, am I going to feel like this in an hour's time tomorrow? The next one is lack of interest and motivation. So if we perceive a task as uninteresting and we have an interest brain, of course, it's like pushing a boulder uphill. Is it relevant to me personally? And it plays a crucial part in trying to sustain attention on any given task. Poor time management, I mentioned that before in the activation. If we don't have a clear plan or intention of what we want to kind of achieve within that task and that time, it's really, really hard to keep our attention and not for it to fragment into several different tasks, like having 40,000 tabs open on your computer and swapping in between the two. So the next one is inadequate task structuring. Not having clear steps, that can make it really hard to focus. Now, that takes a lot of executive functioning to be able to break it down. But actually, if we don't, we can feel really, really overwhelmed. And if we're feeling overwhelmed, we just find it really difficult to concentrate. So that's quite a key one. The other one could be health issues. We've got medical conditions because of our ADHD, and it could be comorbidities, or it could be I have chronic pain because my muscles don't switch off, and so my back and neck, I'm in constant pain. So that can really have an impact on how you're able to focus or not focus, because if you're uncomfortable all the time, that can really dominate your attention. The next one is environmental factors. So if we've got cluttered workspaces, if it's noisy, if it's uncomfortable, all of these will really impede how much we can concentrate. So we just want to have a really nice, quiet, organised space so that we can focus. Then another one that I highlighted before was diet and nutrition. We obviously forget to eat, and then when we do eat, if we're prompted or suddenly hours later we realise we're completely starving, we can often go for the wrong type of food, which can have an impact on your blood sugar levels and dehydration and all of those things that are, it's essential for us and our brain to work in a healthy way. We need to be able to give it really good ingredients. So lots of water and lots of really good healthy nutrients and food. And then the last one is technical distractions. So it's devices, it's social media, it's notifications, email pings, all of these things that come through that can really make it really difficult for us to focus. So I hope you have found this video interesting, and I look forward to the next one, and that is effort. See you in the next one. Take care. Bye.